let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Carson Vickroy for a look at our forecast. Carson, I know you're going to talk about what's going on in the Atlantic soon, but right now it feels really good in East Texas.
Yes, it really does, and part of the reason for that is the air is so much drier than it typically is, even at this time of the year. But as we look at the high temperature trend, we will be above normal the next 7 days. That's a given, but it takes less energy when the air is as dry as it is to increase those temperatures. So we'll be in the upper 80s. There's no doubt about it through Friday. We might get a little cooler for the weekend. But as we look at the rainfall percent of normal, this is an ongoing concern for us because with the more yellow we see on the map, which means we're running rainfall deficits over the last 30 days, it means it's probably going to dry out our soils. It could cause a drought. And with how dry it is, that could increase the fire danger, and increased fire danger typically sooner or later leads to burn bans. But no burn bans in effect for East Texas. That is something I'm watching. The drought monitor, also a metric I'm watching. And you'll notice we do have some yellow in Cass County. We also have some yellow down near Lufkin. Abnormally dry conditions have set up, and I would not be surprised at all if this was expanded or upgraded to a drought status by Wednesday or Thursday's update. But as we mentioned in that story before, we've got two storm systems. We've got Imelda, which is a tropical storm that's moving up to the north and to the northeast, and then we have Hurricane Humberto, which is a powerful Category 4 storm. This was a Category 5 just yesterday. It was a very intense storm, the second Category 5 of the season, but this one's got 145-mile-per-hour winds. Where is it heading? Well, it is going to move between Bermuda and the East Coast, and then it's a fish storm. It goes back out to sea. What about Imelda? Because this one could interact with the South and North Carolina coastline. This is, as of the 4 o'clock advisory, still a weak tropical storm with 40-mile-per-hour winds. We're going to watch this pressure very carefully because at the center of the storm, it's at 998. If that begins to drop, that typically means the storm is going to strengthen. But this should head due to the north through the Bahamas. But since Humberto, which it's pretty close to this path, folks, it's so intense that it's going to pull this storm with it and take it away from the U.S. coast. So lots of science in this forecast here, but things are not looking too bad for North and South Carolina right now, but it is still something we are monitoring carefully. A little bit of monsoonal moisture in West Texas, but here in East Texas, as Ashlyn has alluded to, it has been very nice. Temperatures are in the mid-80s right now, and as we look at tonight's forecast, we'll fall to 62, partly cloudy and cool. Tomorrow, we are back to 87. We should see plenty of sunshine by tomorrow afternoon. And as we look at the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, we are looking at highs in the upper 80s. That will continue to be the case through the first week of October. We are also going to remain in a much drier weather pattern. Here's a look at the 7-day forecast. Dry over the next 7 days. We will be hovering in the upper 80s through the weekend with lows in the 60s. Again, an indication of that drier air. As we look at deep East Texas, same deal. Maybe a few passing clouds on Tuesday, but otherwise warm and dry. Ashlyn.